Hello everyone. We're going to talk about simple 251 for jazz, where it started, right? We're going to talk about a couple of use examples of it, how you can make use of it. There are endless possibilities, of course, and what makes them endless possibilities, what can you do to make it interesting? You have different tools for these. But let's learn just tiny bit of theory first, okay? What happens when you play chords 2 minor 7, 5 7, and 1 major 7 or 1 major 6? All right, let's look at that. Let's take C major scale, and our 2 minor 7 becomes D minor 7 then, and our dominant 5 7 becomes G7, right? And what's the resolution when you play C major after G7? Well, let's look at the guide tones, right? Third and seventh of the chord. The third of G7 is B, and seventh of G7 is F. Well, when you go to C major from that, the third of G7, which is the note B, pulls strongly towards the tonic, towards C. And the seventh of G7, F, pulls strongly to the third of the tonic, which is E. So C goes to, B goes to C, F goes to E, all right? That's what happens. So we can use these lines in our we can use these guide tones in our lines. Here's an example that makes use of those guide tones and some rhythm. All right, so we have a few elements. We have chord tones, we have rhythm to play with, and then we have other things we'll get to later. Okay, all right, let's play our first line using our guide tones. Okay, now what do we see there? Well, we see some diatonic substitutions in G7, but we'll get to that in other examples. The most important thing is over there, at the end, when we're going from G7 to C7, our line goes from F to E, all right? And it comes after a triplet, so it stops there for a second. Oh, it's a strong resolution, all right? So let's hear it once more. All right, great. As you can see, I'm using other things in there too, like chromatic approaches, skipping octave like horn players do. And I have just a video for this, like horn phrasing, and the link is right here. You can check it out. And now let's start with our first line. All right, what happens? All right, here we go. In this line, it's a simple line. It's a 1 bar where the 2-5 happens, 2 minor 7, 5 7 in 1 bar, and in 1 bar there's the resolution tonic. All right, so you have 2 beats for each chord. Okay, and let's check it. Let's hear the line first. All right, here we go. Great. Now, you see what happens? The line uses whole step, half step combination to approach to the third of D minor 7. So from G to E, and then finally F, third of D minor 7. All right. All right. Then it comes down from Mixolydian until it reaches to the third of C major 7. All right. And then at the end, it ends on the ninth, which is very common in jazz. You don't always resolve. All right, let's hear another line. You see the same whole step, half step combination to the third of D minor 7. G first, E later, and then comes F, the third of D minor 7. All right, and then it goes up to 7th. So we use third and the 7th, the guide tones of D minor 7, and then it resolves to B, which is the third of G7, right? But over here, we use a diatonic substitution. Instead of G7 chord tones, we use B minor 7 flat 5 chord tones, okay? And that's called a diatonic substitution. So you take a chord and substitute it from one of the choices of the diatonic chords inside the major scale, all right? And that's called diatonic substitution. All right, so we're combining approach tones with diatonic substitution and then resolve it to C major. And there's one more thing that's happening in this little line. At the end, it goes to A, and it sounds like A minor, and that's called minor conversion, all right? So instead of resolving to major, you can always resolve a 2-5 to the relative minor, even though the comping tones are resolving to major. All right, so in this little line, we're combining 3 techniques. We're using guide tones, 3rd and the 7th of D minor 7, and then when we get to and before that, we're using whole step, half step approach to D minor 7's 3rd, which is F. And then we get to G7 and we substitute it with B minor 7 flat 5. And then we resolve it to C major 7 first, but then convert it to minor. We go down to A, all right? You see, with this little time, if a couple of beats, you have a lot of choices for different colors. So what can you do? I mean, learning these lines help, but you could practice these. Slow down the tempo, all right? And try to come up with these techniques. I mean, all of them has topic videos. You can learn about them. And J.A.M application, jazz learning application, has all these. I mean, 251 combinations are in level 2, I think, and level 1 is whole free. You can download it, and right now it's available on iOS, but very soon, in a couple of weeks, it'll be available for Android. Also, it will be working in your browser. If you want to see everything in a bigger screen, you can log in from your computer, your browser, and you can check out the lessons. It's got backing tracks, it's got transposed sheet music for B flat, E flat, even for bass clef. It's got transposed music, sheet music. So you can learn a lot from it. Check it out. And back to our subject. As you can see in these examples, they are combining different techniques just so you can, you have more freedom to create more colors. All of these techniques adds a color, and it could translate your feelings into music. So that's what you use them for. Check them out. All right, let's give you another example now. Let's do an example that has a longer resolution time. So one full measure for D minor 7, and one measure for one bar for G7, and at the end resolution to C major 7. All right, check it out. This one starts on the 3rd of D minor 7. It just regularly starts going down on Dorian scale, right? Dorian mode. it plays F, E, D, and C, and then goes back to root, D again, and then just skips an octave down, and then goes on with a triplet, so that the seventh of D minor 7 is the last note, and it goes to B, which is the third of G7. So these are strong sounding notes for the chords. So maybe you should just practice this. How can you practice this? You can just start playing by yourself. Try to play, the third at the end of at the beginning of the bar each time. Slow down the tempo really, so you can do better. I mean, you don't have to panic. Slow down the tempo slowly. Try to hit the third of the note. For that, actually, you have to know where third of the note is in every octave, right? Try to do that, and it'll help you. It won't happen at the beginning, but little by little, you can hit the third whenever you want. All right, let's hear another example. This line uses a diatonic substitution at the beginning, all right? And instead of D minor 7, it uses A minor. And A minor is like, A, C, E, and G. And it's like, it's the sound of D minor 11th almost. So check it out. All right, it plays, its line starts with B, and then C sharp, and then goes into A, and then a triplet, and then it's skipping an octave there, and then it starts coming down on G mixolydian scale. All right, and then at the end it resolves to tonic. Okay, and it's a pretty simple line, but it's using whole step, half step, chromatic approach, and it's using diatonic substitutions. It's using a little bit of a modal approach, and then the resolution. Okay, see, what did we use? What did we learn here? We learned the importance of guide tones, the third and seventh of the chords. We learned how to use chromatic approach tones, and I have a whole video about that too. Here's the link. We learned about diatonic substitutions. I also have a video about that too. And we also learned how to use different rhythms and how to use triplets a little bit. So learning these lines help, and try to come up with similar lines, okay? And if you like this video, please don't forget to comment and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And again, don't forget to check out the app, all right? And you can download it from the links at the description. I will also have a PDF for this lesson for you to download. The link also will be in the description. And that's it for this week, and I'll see you guys next week.